This is a trade recap for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. Number 8 of 10 for one and done. And since we're coming in the end of that one, next phase will be interesting. There'll be a few things going on at the same time, so we'll spice it up a little bit. But I'll get into that more towards the end of this one. Currently, we're trading 3 to 5 contracts for size. Generally, again, as the name kind of implies, one and done, one singular trade. That's all we get. And then we call it a day. Regardless of how that turns out, usually with the exception of, obviously, with a red trade, we do have the caveat for taking a reset trade, should it be warranted and planned for. Today, it was a really quick day, kind of just triggered right off the hop and then paid, and that was that. Trying to think what else was necessarily going on, but no, nothing really super out of the ordinary I can think of. Just again, kind of happened quickly, so that was interesting. But again, this is all planned for, as usual. Again, that is the advantage of having a coach and mentor who knows exactly what they're doing, because they have put in the time, the effort, built the experience, and demonstrates those qualities day in, day out, every single day we trade. So if you are a person looking for a coach or mentor, the person you should be learning from is Pat Mitchell. He has been a full-time day trader for over a decade now, and he runs a service called Trick Trades, and that is where you go to learn how to do this on that level. Now, that being said, it is an education service. It is not an alert service. You are there to learn, not to shadow trades. So have a clear understanding of what it offers. Head over to the site at tricktrades.com, read it over, see if it's what you're looking for. If you want kind of a taste of what Pat offers, you can jump over to his YouTube channel at Trick Trades, and he has over 1,700 videos on there. There is a wealth of information that you can absolutely take advantage of, and again, get a good understanding of what he offers, and it just gets better from there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this morning's recording. All right, so if you're new here, the only thing we trade is SPY and Qs. It's just those two. We don't trade anything else. So up here on top, this is where SPY is. Down here on the bottom, this is where Qs is. The way this is laid out is we have our daily charts here on the left, we have our 1 minute intraday charts here on the right, and then we have, or at least I have, my order execution here on the right, 1 minute in the middle, daily on the left. These blue levels you see are the levels that Pat chooses and plots for us starting the night before and refining the morning of. Once he plots them, they do not move. They're static. We don't adjust them mid-trade session. If you're doing that, then honestly, you don't really have a trade plan. You'll see risk levels. I just like to throw those on there to know what I'm risking off of visually. It's just easier to keep track of. And then you also see these little yellow levels on the 1 minute. I was kind of just charting out some natural support resistance levels that were from pre-market or the daily chart, just to kind of keep track of. Help pay myself into targets better. So with that being said, this is about 10 seconds before the open, so we'll go ahead and let it rip. Like I said, just happened pretty quick. Qs was the main watch, but triggered on SPY. SPY immediately popped into that level. Whack it with 2. Little, again, just kind of watched there for a second to see how it was going to sort itself out. So maybe not the best fill, but again, got in it. I was kind of wait and see what happens. Take one off right there. Nice reaction on the premium. Down to that last one. Just waiting to see if we get a little follow through and go ahead and peel the other one off. So, like I said, pretty quick. Qs hadn't triggered into a level. SPY popped right at its level. Quick screenshot there. And yeah, I mean, then that was pretty much it for me. And then you watch SPY comes down, get that more follow through. Only got in with that starter size of 2 contracts. So again, it's one of those things where definitely some room for improvement, especially on the execution side. Trying to top tick that pop would have been obviously better, and then being a little bit more patient on selling that last one. But again, with only 2, it's like you got to pay yourself where it's appropriate to pay yourself. So just kind of let this play. Q's came down into its level, so that one triggered as well. Kind of get a little bit of a reaction there. Pops back up. Test again. SPY is now kind of breaking down past its level a little bit, but then reacts, and that also helps pull Q's up. And as you can see, just kind of starts playing around. But again, those reactions off the levels, again, that's more than enough, honestly, to pay yourself. Because that's on Q's is like a point of movement. SPY, you're talking more than 50 cents, probably closer to 75 cents. SPY comes back down. Q's comes back down. Both are playing around their... Q's is playing around their level. SPY's now past its level. It looks like it might want to shoot for that 5 and 9 down below. Let's grab some more screenshots. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for the morning session. Like I said, it happened like real quick. Been a while since we've had, I think, one of those. So go ahead and close that one out, pull my entries up. So as you can see, entered with 2 and peeled out one at a time, kind of on that first initial on SPY. Again, was there room for the downside? Yeah, again, because as you can see, I mean, it really depends on your size of the account you're trading and how much you get in with. But ultimately, it's one of those things where just, yeah, paid myself and entered on the pop, paid myself on, again, the reaction to it. It was $25 in total for the P&L. So again, nothing most people say is magical, but it's one of those things. Was there more potential? Yeah. So again, that's still one of those things where I need to do better on being a little more patient in terms of paying into targets to try and squeeze a bit more out, but more to come on that in the future, especially next week. So we'll go over that here a little bit later, probably this week, in terms of what's going on there. But yeah, again, SPY worked beautifully. And as you can see, these levels are completely valid. Pat knows exactly what he's doing. So if you do need high level, again, you want that high level coaching, and I highly recommend it. That's who you need to see, Pat Mitchell. But all in all, for me, I'm trying to think of any issues other than, like I said, being a little more patient on that final sell. Maybe, again, trying to be faster when we get those quick pops into the level and that instant trigger to try and get a better initial entry. Again, things to work on. So it was also kind of a mid-range level there on SPY. So again, you don't want to slam a ton of size into it because it can very easily, again, not work. Even though it was fairly valid considering the 20 was there, you had the actual level, there's a trend level there too. So it was one of those things, fairly confident that one was give us the reaction we were looking for. But all in all, again, good day. Performance-wise, like I said, just a couple, again, those little spots to tweak. Try and adjust them each and every day, and eventually, again, you do get there, and it will stick. Sometimes, again, I know for myself, usually, I guess, a little slower for me than I'd say on average for most people, but it's just one of those things where consciously work at those things, and eventually, again, you get to where you need to be. So all in all, good day. Hope everyone else had a good morning. And we will see you tomorrow for number 9. So coming to the end of this one. And that is all I got. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow and hope you have a good one. This one was a little bit shorter, but hey, it is what it is. Nothing like being done trading about 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the market. So, yep. Later.